All right. Welcome into this edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. Corey Moen, Evan Byrne. Evan, how we doing?
I'm feeling thankful today. We're doing well.
I am also feeling thankful. Before we get started, because me and Evan only have the one game to recap, before we do that, me and Evan are going to go around the room and we're going to say what we're thankful for. So, Evan, what are you thankful for?
I'm going to get the basics out of the way. My family, my friends, my girlfriend, and others, important people, that have an effect in my life. But I would also say I'm thankful for my jobs. One job to another kind of made my life a lot better. I think more fun, more exciting. Thankful for food, having a roof over my head. Maybe I'd be thankful for like a lucky lottery ticket, but we're thankful for where we're at. We're succeeding. We're doing better, going low, but we're aiming high, and I can't complain. Life's pretty good right now, and I'm enjoying myself. What about you?
Family, friends, 2 jobs currently. The Bucks.
Yep.
The Brewers.
Gotta be thankful for the Bucks and Brewers.
The Packers. Yeah, thankful for all those things. It's been, I don't know if I should say it's been a good year, but the years go by so quickly, and it feels like you go from summer, boom, to fall, right to Thanksgiving.
Yep, it's like there's no in between.
And now this makes me feel 2023 is almost coming to a close. I know we still have to get through Christmas, but it's been a rock solid year.
Yeah, we only got like a month left or so, a little over a month. It's weird, man. I keep thinking it's like the first of the month, and now it's the end of the month, and they're all the in-between days just kind of morph together as to one day. But it's exciting. Good things coming, and I can't complain. I'm enjoying myself.
Now, are you a New Year's resolutions guy?
I am not. I don't think I've ever really had one, or just I'm gonna do this. It's just day by day, see what happens, and just kind of go from there. I don't want to put myself to something that I know I'll fail, or pick up something that I'm like, oh, maybe this could be something that I could work on. But yeah, I don't set anything. I've never done that. Do you?
No, I liked it when people, when filling out the New Year's resolutions, are like, I'm going to be a better person.
It's like, yeah, okay, that should be given.
All right,
I'm going to be nicer.
That'll take like 2 seconds. I'm going to be more positive. 2024 is the new me, and I'm like, no, it's not. You're going to be the same person that you always were, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, you shouldn't change yourself for anyone. If I'm being honest, if you want to be more positive, look on the outlook of things, that's fine. But I just love it when a new year, all of a sudden everybody thinks they're going to change themselves. Or the most popular one is, oh, I'm going to go to the gym more.
Yep, I was waiting for that. And then you have the 2 weeks of I guess. I mean, gyms make a lot of money the first month of the year with all the New Year's resolutions. Won't be me.
But I just read something from a gym influencer that says we shouldn't look at it like that, because at the end of the day, those people are trying to better themselves.
They're trying to better themselves, and you can't hate.
So I give them credit for trying, but it does suck for the first month. But I guess I can give them credit for being like, okay, at least they're attempting to be like, I don't like the way I look, so I'm gonna do something to change that.
Yeah, I feel the same. or at least be like for 2 months I'm gonna go to the gym more and just kind of like slowly ease into it. But it's hard to stay committed. That's why I never like wrote something down or made myself stay true to this without knowing like I'm not gonna want to do that in June or July. But it is what it is, and we'll see what happens in the next year. But I just hope for some more Bucks wins. That is my New Year's resolution. More Bucks wins. A trophy, maybe. Maybe a Brewer trophy in the near future. Throw me one of those, please. Just one. Just one. All I want is one.
What? You got to get to a World Series first.
Yes, we do.
We got to get to a World Series first. Okay, we have not seen one of those in our lifetime.
Nope.
Okay, your dad has. Your dad's seen one of those.
Yes, he has.
1982. My dad was in high school in 1982. So that's the last time the Brewers went to a World Series. And now that the Texas Rangers have won theirs, now Milwaukee has one of the longest World Series droughts in, I think, sports history now.
We'll change it.
I hope so. I hope so. So Milwaukee had the one game on Monday.
Yes, they did against the Wizards.
Against the Wizards, again, another high-scoring affair.
Ugh.
142 to 129.
Giving 129 points to the Wizards is not something I was excited for. Again, a win's a win, but that game was too close or way too long.
So
I don't like that.
What makes the Wizards really fun to watch is watching Jordan Poole.
Did you see that one play that was kind of going viral of him?
I did.
Rolling the ball.
So, in case you guys were unaware, Jordan Poole rolled the ball up the floor, which is fine. It stops the clock, but he thought it stopped both. To where he thought it stopped both the shot clock and the game clock. What made that play or that clip even more funny is that he still got a basket out of it.
Yes, it made it seem like they were down 2 and that tied the game. It was like they were down 10 with 3 minutes left or so and rolled the ball. And then he blatantly the clock's going kind of thing, and then ended up scoring. But yeah, it was a silly situation, and it was very funny just because it was him for the Wizards. And yeah.
The Wizards are good at getting players that just play unhinged basketball. You know how most teams with players like that, they kind of rein them in. That hey, if you Jordan Poole, don't take that shot, or Jordan Poole is basically playing basketball how he wants to play basketball.
Yeah, it's his team.
If he played basketball in Golden State the way he did in Washington, Draymond Green may have knocked him out again.
Yeah, he would have swung a couple more times. He would have Rudy Gobert him, just Stone Cold Steve, and just knock him out.
If Jordan Poole, there was this clip earlier this year where Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma are on the fast break. And Jordan Poole throws the ball off the backboard of Kyle Kuzma.
They're down 20.
Keep in mind, they didn't have a lead. It was against the Atlanta Hawks. If Jordan Poole pulled that in Golden State, someone's swinging on him. It was just Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma. This is the way they want to play basketball. And the only spot that they can do it at is Washington.
There's no expectations. There's no huge all-star on that team. They're just there to play. That's it. They're not going to win. Just got to get your shots up. They both have their ring. I know I've mentioned that before. And they're just here to get some money. And that's so fair. That is so fair. But it's funny just to kind of watch them sometimes.
And poor Wes Unseld Jr., because I think he's doing the best under these current circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, in Denver, he was a highly respected assistant. But now it's like, all right, we're gonna get Jordan Poole, who's playing unhinged. We're gonna get Kyle Kuzma, who's playing unhinged. Like Washington just doesn't have a good team, and might take a while to rebuild, because they had to get out from underneath the Bradley Beal contract.
Mm-hmm.
But Washington won't be good for a while.
No, and it's unfortunate. They're like in a Detroit Pistons where it's like they're just going to be bad for so long. Detroit's got potential, but I feel like they just never. They get all these picks and then nothing ever happens. But yeah, it'll be a while, but you got Tyus Jones at least.
Yeah, so Tyus Jones on Monday had 18 points.
He did.
And I don't know what Tyus Jones's points per game average is, but it's something against Wisconsin teams that Tyus Jones is like barbecue chicken.
This year he's at 10 points per game.
Tyus Jones has been torturing me since 2015. I don't understand how Tyus Jones, like, I didn't even think he was a scorer, and all of a sudden he's like scoring points off the bench for him. And I'm like, wait, whoa. This the same Tyus Jones? Like, he's just one of those guys. He's like TJ McConnell.
Yes.
Or
yes.
like just a random.
Those bench guys who are borderline starters. I know he's starting for the Wizards, but yeah, it's those guys who it's like, that's who we're going to let score a weird amount of points on us. But yeah, his career average is 6 points. And he dropped 18 on 9 for 13 shooting. Hey, good for him, though. Good for him.
Or another guy I've been thinking about is that guy from the Hawks, Bogdanovich.
Yep, every time.
Another Bucks killer. But I think the reason why Milwaukee was able to drop in 142 points, obviously Giannis's performance aside, is that the scoring was really balanced in this game.
Yes, there was a lot of double-digit scores. A lot.
Mm-hmm. And Middleton at 18, Dame at 22, BP had 17, Malik 16, Lopez 16. So the scoring, and I've said this before, is when Milwaukee's scoring is balanced, usually they win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not Giannis scored 45 and the next leading scorer is 12. Very balanced, especially for the starters. They did a lot better. Now, Lillard's kind of getting off track with his scoring, like still scoring, but his shooting percentage is still a little not where I was kind of hoping it would be. It's very inconsistent some games, but hey, he still went 9 for 11 on free throws. Chris, again, having a really good game. I think this is one of his better games. Overall, better scoring. Again, his 3-point shot still isn't there. I don't know how many he's made this season, but it is not a lot. But his mid-range is still very elite. Yeah, he had 18, 6, and 7. But I think one of the big things is Malik Beasley kind of finding a shot again. A couple three-pointers here or there. He had a really good no-look pass or Giannis had a no-look pass to him in the corner. He hit his little thug shake right after that shot. But it's fun right now to watch them, and I'm glad they're kind of starting to click a little more. Took a little bit. Obviously, we're frustrated because we know expectations, but they're looking better. They're looking more comfortable, I think, overall.
Watching Malik Beasley, he'll miss 4 or 5 threes, and then he'll hit one and then just turn to the crowd
and just shake it a little bit. He's starting to turn into a crowd favorite. Something that this is what they were hoping Grayson Allen could do 3-point wise. But I feel like Grayson Allen's just not consistent enough. Took Malik Beasley a little bit, but I think overall he'll be a little better. But it's funny to watch. And then all the some of the players will do that too. They're starting to do Mikal Bridges, like the finger one where they like shake their head. They'll do that because Campaign did that with Mikal Bridges. But they're looking a lot better. It's a lot more fun to watch, I think, overall. Especially some of the guys who aren't your typical like big name guys too, starting to score a little more, just have more impact as well. Like Campaign, Andre Jackson, when they get the minutes they deserve.
Yeah, and the other night, I don't believe Andre Jackson Jr. either. He didn't see a lot of minutes, or he might have not even played. I believe Adrian Griffin stuck AJ Green in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, AJ Green played 14 minutes.
What
not
about
hitting the threes though?
What about Andre Jackson Jr.? Did he
No,
play?
Robin, and Thanasis, they played that like last 2 minutes or 1 minute, 15 seconds. It was funny. Robin Lopez played not even a minute and a half and had 2 fouls. They're like, all right, go play. And then it's just foul. Like, cool.
It's starting to make sense why he's not seeing any action.
Mm-hmm.
But this might be one of John Horst's signings that he might regret, because I think it's clear to everyone watching Robin Lopez play basketball that he's washed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's not going to play. They're not just going to throw him in the lineup, I feel like. And it's one of those things where it's keep him and don't play him, or let him go and try to get some center who has potential of playing 10 minutes or so. But yeah, he's not going to find any minutes this season.
Because if you play him, you know there's going to be like a lot of fouls.
Yes. Because he's and it kind of makes sense because I feel like Brooke is also Brooke usually, I feel like, he didn't have any fouls this game, but I feel like he usually has at least 3. But yeah, I feel like the two of them they want to contest more. They want to just have somewhat action and just have the unlucky fouling every time. But yeah, it's kind of shows when you play for a minute 15 and have 2 fouls. It's probably not looking too good.
And kind of going back to it, so I think Adrian Griffin was asked why he played AJ Green over Andre Jackson Jr. I think he said something along the lines of, they wanted to give AJ Green just some minutes. I thought he played well, which honestly, I think that could be what happens this season, is that there'll be some games where Andre Jackson Jr. maybe doesn't see the floor, not because he did anything wrong or because of his performance. I just think that it could be one of those things where AJ Green's giving us good minutes. Let's give him a shot in this game, and then
flip flop.
It could flip flop.
I'm fine with that. I'm a huge AJ Green fan. His 3-point hasn't been the best this year. He was 0 for 3. I think he just had like a little jump shot from the free throw line type area. But yeah, I feel like him and Andre Jackson are both guards, but they're 2 different kind of guards. One is specifically shooting, one's more like defense, kind of just being out there and just trying to make plays again. But I'm not opposed to that. They're not going to get like 20 plus some minutes. Probably get like 15 usually max, or 14, but I'm all for that. I just kind of hope AJ Green can have consistent minutes, just because I feel like the more consistent minutes he gets, I feel like the better results we'll get. But if he plays, I don't know, 1 every 4 games or so, it's not going to be the results that fans expect, or even he expects himself to play.
And also keep in mind too that AJ Green and Andre Jackson Jr. coming into the season were fringe rotation guys.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as though he's choosing between one or the other. He's basically letting the two figure out where they would fit into the rotation, whether it's 9th or 10th or wherever, how much Adrian Griffin's rotation goes. I think he's just trying to figure out AJ Green could go here, Andre Jackson Jr. could go here. I mean, I just think he's giving them a chance to kind of battle it out.
Yeah, and I feel like it's hard when you're on a team who's alwa't not always, but like who's been contending for a few years. And you're some of like the later draft, especially AJ Green being like one of the last draft picks. I think he was the last pick in the draft or very close to the end. But it's one of those things where you're on a team who's contending. It's like Sandro in the past, where it's like has pretty potential. It's just the team that he's on is unfortunate, where you have, like Giannis, who is kind of a better power forward, I think, in my opinion, than Sandro was. And most people would agree. So you kind of have him go to a team that has no expectations really, and they'll prosper there and hopefully develop into the player that they should be. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's, AJ Green can be good and Andre Jackson Jr. can be good. It's just where can they put them in their rotation? And I think how they're using him so far has been a lot better than Budenholzer would have if he was still coaching. And obviously coach AJ Green, which wasn't the best at times. Him and Marjan, I think, we're like the guinea pigs for him.
And the injury to Marjan has helped Andre Jackson Jr. and AJ Green kind of get some of those opportunities. Because I don't know exactly what the injury report is tonight, but it didn't sound like Marjan had like a serious ankle sprain.
Mm-hmm.
It was an ankle sprain, but it wasn't like I don't know if it was mild or how serious it was, but I think that just the injury to Marjan, I think that just kind of helped open the door to AJ Green, Andre Jackson to get some of those opportunities. But also, even if it hadn't, Marjan and Andre Jackson Jr., like they were both playing together at the same time. And Budenholzer, you're right, he would probably play them in like, I don't know, like 30, 35 games.
Yeah.
Where it really wasn't based on anything. Like Budenholzer just didn't like playing young players.
Yeah, he's more into George Hill, who is, again, love George Hill, but come on. There was no need to be playing him as many minutes as he saw. But yeah, I just feel like the young guys on the Bucks last few years are just kind of getting not necessarily like looked over, but just in a bad spot. I do, however, I'm curious about Chris Livingston too. He's been like on the Bucks bench, but he hasn't been suited up. Like he's just been in his like everyday clothes that he's wearing to the game. I know he's played one time or maybe two times now, but I'm just kind of curious of how he is, or if they just see more in Andre Jackson Jr. over Chris Livingston, which kind of makes sense like draft wise. But again, I'm always kind of curious on some of the guys who will like really never play and kind of see how they do. But at this point, I'm kind of good with how they're playing them, and I hope it continues, or I guess consistency wise, they can play a little more in general. But I think seeing Andre Jackson Jr. start and watching AJ Green get kind of like pretty good minutes than he was doing last year this early, I think is a sign of more minutes in the future, whether it's this season or next season.
So real quick on that. So the injury report has been submitted for tonight.
All right.
Marjan's back.
Okay.
Missed a few games with a right ankle sprain. Damian Lillard is also playing.
Okay.
He had a weak strain. And the guy you just mentioned, Chris Livingston, he is back. He had a left ankle sprain.
Okay, that I did not know.
So Milwaukee, outside of Jay Crowder, the only players they won't have available is Marcus Bolden, Ty Washington, and Lindell Wigginton, due to them being two-way players.
Yes. All right. Well, that's good, because I saw Giannis, or not Giannis. Lillard was probable, which usually means that they're probable, like they're probably going to play. I know Tatum was questionable as well, so I don't know if he's going to play or not. I'm hoping. See, it's one of those situations where like it'd be nice if, like, I don't like injuries, but it would be nice if like a big player like that could be out. But then if the Bucks were to win and Tatum's not playing, it doesn't really show like the true effect of could they beat him with their full strength as well. But it'll be kind of interesting for tonight. again with the return of Drew Holiday playing against them. Not to Milwaukee, they'll be in Boston, but just kind of playing against him again in general will be fun to watch after he had 7 turnovers the other night against the Hornets. Not a very good overall game. Got crossed by LaMelo Ball, but we'll see. We love Drew Holiday. He got us a ring, so can't complain. But yeah, tonight. It'll be a little interesting game. I'm kind of curious how it's going to play out overall. Who's going to be the scorer? Is Giannis going to have to carry? Is Kristaps going to score like a stupid amount as Tatum? But I don't know. It'll be interesting, and I'm excited, but I'm nervous.
Yeah, Drew Holiday had a tough night the other night. The difference between Drew Holiday having a tough night in Milwaukee and a tough night in Boston is night and day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
So a tough night in Boston, he's going to get a lot of racial tweets.
Yes, I saw quite a few that were like, why AI images where it's like, all right, that's how you guys think of your players.
One of them was like so messed up. Like one of the AI images was like with the rope around his neck. And I'm like, Jesus
I did see that.
Christ.
That's what I was. Yeah, I love Drew Holiday, and I think the hate he gets is extremely unneeded. I liked him before he was on the Bucks. Just in general, I followed him a lot when he was on the Pelicans, just because he was one of those underrated guards that I felt like could be a Bucks player. That was like what I thought with Eric Bledsoe as well before he came. It's just these guards who the level that they play is kind of unnoticed just because of the team that they're on. The Suns weren't really that good when Eric Bledsoe was on the team. It took them a little bit. But yeah, it's unfortunate what a fan base can do to one player, because it was clearly all his fault that they blew an 18-point lead to the Hornets. So it's one of those things where it's one game. It's not going to kill you.
No, and look, okay, I don't want to be like everybody in Boston's like that, but it just feels like when it comes to like black athletes, it feels like Boston always has, like it always comes out that, oh, like Boston's like the most racist. And Boston fans, of course, well, no, we're not. And you'll get every black athlete under the sun just being like, yeah, no, you guys are. Like Boston's probably the worst place to play. They say the worst imaginable things to like any black athlete. Like, I've heard Boston, I've heard Utah just being the 2 worst places for any black athlete to play, just because of like the stuff that they'll say.
Yeah, and I know Westbrook has had some stuff with Utah in the past.
And the thing is, the fans are protected by being in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Charles Barkley, to be honest with you. Like, if someone, like, you should be able to fight one fan a year. I understand that, if you're an athlete, you just got to ignore it. But like, if I'm a black athlete, someone calls me the N-word or other derogatory terms, I don't get to fight them. You're telling me I can't, like, go up in the stands,
Malice at the Palace,
and hit him? Okay, Malice at the Palace. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was the perfect time for that to happen because there was no social media.
Yes.
Like, if the Malice at the Palace happened now, ESPN would be tweeting about it. Bleacher Report, all the big networks would be tweeting about it. But since it was 2004. It just lives on through YouTube.
Yeah, I saw it was just the anniversary like the other day, like November, I think 19th it was, like in 2004, and that's one of those things where I still can't believe that happened because no one talks about it unless someone posts a clip on it. No one will ever bring it up.
Well, so I watched a documentary on it. Netflix actually did a documentary on the Malice at the Palace, and it's actually one of the greatest what ifs in NBA history because that Pacers team was loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And if Ron Artest, Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal never got suspended, how would they have finished?
Yeah.
But as you guys know, Jermaine O'Neal got 25. Steven Jackson got 30. Ron Artest got suspended the rest of the season.
I'll have to watch that documentary.
I know it is. It is wild.
Okay, it's something.
Well, it was something. It was something when you kind of watch it on YouTube. Like there's players like just punching out fans.
Yeah, guys hitting him with a shoe.
Like the greatest athletes in the world are punching out just out of shape, overweight, just people. Like it was. I feel like it's something every athlete's like wanted to do.
But, 100%.
But obviously they can't because they'll like lose game checks and get suspended. But honestly, the Mouse of the Palace, like those athletes were living every. They were just living every athlete's dream, to be honest with you. Just
yeah. And if there's no recording of that, no one would ever believe that happened. No way the players went up in the stand. It's one of those things where if you've seen the video, you know how wild it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you. And I'm glad it happened in 2004 because if it happened now, people would not stop talking about it like a week. Like a week, people would just be talking about it countless times.
Every other clip on your social feed will just be some different angle. Oh, I've never seen this angle before. Then that one, yeah, it would be never ending.
And if we're being honest here, some of those fan incidents, like okay, in the past we've had like people just like throwing things on the field and stuff, which is kind of normal. Like if an umpire misses a call, like before replay, right? Like baseball always had to use the human element. So this happens a lot less now. But in a big game, if an umpire like missed a call, for example, they would just like fans would just throw things on the field.
Yeah, you see the football of like beer bottles, all that, snowballs at times. Yep.
Bottlegate, the Cleveland Browns playoff game in 2001. Oh my goodness, there was a 6-minute video where the receiver, I believe, dropped the ball.
Yes.
This is the most Browns thing to happen. So the receiver dropped the ball. And then
a whole nother play happened.
A play happened. And then they went back to review it.
Yes.
Which obviously you're not supposed to do. But of course, because it's Cleveland, they got like Cleveland, that's the only franchise that can happen to. A play happened. They spiked the ball. And then they're like, no, we're going to review the 2 plays before. And then they called it incomplete.
Yep, and then they lost, and
bottle game. Like they were throwing glass bottles on the field.
Yes, it was like it looked like it was raining, but it was just objects, whatever they could find. So bad.
It's so funny because then you get the public address announcer just being like, "Please refrain from throwing objects onto the field."
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yep, I'll stop. Guys, stop! You stop doing that. They said not to. Yeah.
You know what makes me laugh when the public address announcer does that? It makes me laugh when there was one fan who does that. Like one time there was a fan like Milwaukee who threw like a coin on the court and like they had to stop the game and the public address announcer gets up there and goes, excuse me, please refrain from throwing all objects into the court of play.
It's like the teacher's pet, the fan.
Fan.
Guys, they said not to.
God.
She said to stop talking.
Why can't they do that when people go streaking?
True.
Sir,
please refrain from running naked on the field.
Put that away. Can't they just do it like that?
Make it more funny.
I'm sorry. We got a little off track here, but like we had to, we only had to recap the one game. So, we had to fill up some time here. I will say this though, before I put a bow on this. I'm a little concerned that Milwaukee's not forcing enough turnovers. Washington only had 4 turnovers and Milwaukee had 13. that's a little concerning that throughout the whole game, Milwaukee only forced 4 turnovers.
Yeah, and still won by double digits, where it's like it was just scoring and scoring, and that was all that was happening. It was just, I'll make a basket and I'll trade you one as well. Where it's kind of going back and forth. But yeah, it feels like either the Bucks force 12 plus or like nothing, and it's one of those stats you don't really look at, but things were so even like that game where it was, how did I don't even know, like things were very consistent. Like field goal percentage was the same, like 3-point percentage was almost the same, like they almost shot and made almost the same amount. Field goals, 3 points, free throws was a lot different, but yeah, 4 turnovers. Hopefully that can change, just kind of depending on the team. But with the team or with a game that was no defense whatsoever, I feel like that probably played a huge effect into it.
Yeah, and it's concerning that Milwaukee, once again, in their wins, they're still giving up a high number of points.
Yes.
Like, that's the other concerning part, is that the combination of Tyus Jones and Daniel Gafford and Jordan Poole and Kuzma
are giving you a run for your money.
And I don't even know if Corey Kispert play. I know they have that.
He had 12.
They have that other high draft pick too, Demi.
Yeah, he had 7 points.
Okay. So how is that combination of players going to score 129 points? That's concerning.
Yes.
Like, they're good players and they're in the NBA, but come on, they can't. Yeah. 129 points.
Yeah, defense-wise wasn't the best. Brook had 5 blocks, but Giannis had 1, and that was it for blocks. Steals,
like
Giannis there were 3 steals, and it was, there was nothing.
Like these Wizards aren't the Showtime Lakers here. Like, there's no way in hell Milwaukee should have allowed 129 points. And that makes it even more concerning for the game tonight against Boston, because Boston is still really good offensively. And you add in, obviously, okay, they have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and, add Drew Holiday to the mix. But Kristaps, like when he's healthy, he's like a top 15 offensive player. Outside of that, I shouldn't expect Boston to score the crap out of the basketball, because how many score? Like, okay, they have like 4 good scorers, but who else do they have?
I think Peyton Pritchard will be a tough. He's been scoring a lot recently, and he's one of those guys who he can make a 3 anytime needed. So no, he had like 5 3-pointers the other night against the Hornets. Obviously, they didn't win, but he still had like 20-some points. He's their dark horse, I think, guy. Of if you have these 4 dominant guys, but this guy can get hot, then that's who you need to look out for.
And knowing the history of the Milwaukee Bucks, that is probably a guy who will drop in like 17 to 19 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's and
range.
The matchup I'm excited to watch is the one between Drew Holiday and Dame Lillard.
Oh yeah, who's gonna win?
Trust me, that's not going to be easy for Dame.
No, it's not.
Drew puts the clamps on anybody.
And I would rather have him get clamped and pass it than get clamped and just try to shoot. Because he's going to I guess I just have to shoot now. I can't dribble anymore. And then we'll end up going like 2 for 12 on 3-pointers again. That's what I hope it doesn't turn to that. I hope Drew Holiday can lock them all up all day if he wants, but as long as he can pass it and get it out, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah, like I don't know if Dame's like one of those guys that's like, oh crap, I'm not really involved in this game. I gotta take a 25-footer.
I do think though that I think Damian Lillard averages like 25 points when he's getting guarded by Drew. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's a stat that I read earlier in the season. I'll look into that for next one, but I think it's 25 points roughly.
That one surprised me. That one surprised me. How many defenders have like clamped Damian Lillard? Very, very small number.
Yeah, I just looked it up. In 23 games against Drew Holiday, Lillard averages 25.5 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds.
How's his efficiency ratings?
Let's see. We're looking at 3-point percentage, 35, field goal percentage, 44. I'll round up. It's not horrible, but 3-point could be a little better. 3-point makes the most sense just because he's a 3-point line defender, but 44% isn't too bad.
Yeah, so what are the keys going to be tonight for Milwaukee to beat Boston?
They just got to score. I feel like they can't have the game where they're going to get defended a lot and they're going to have to turn the offense over defense. And when they don't have offense, it's going to be even more difficult. So I feel like they're going to, if it's going to be one of those games, again, like the Wizards, where they give up 130 points, but they still win, at the end of the day, I feel like I'll have to take that. But yeah, I don't want it to be some game where the Bucks just aren't doing it on defense, but just can't result on offense as well, because they've had that a few times this year against the Hawks and the Raptors.
Yeah, if you start slow against the Celtics, it's already over.
Yeah, it's
like
done.
You're not digging out. You're not digging out that hole. Milwaukee has to get off to a quick start because a similar situation happened last year in the 2 matchups against Boston, where Milwaukee got off to a slow start. Boston kept scoring, and it was wraps from there.
Yeah, you're not digging yourself out. You can make it close, but can't always take the lead on it.
And again, Boston in the past has been really good against Milwaukee. Milwaukee only beat Boston once last year in their season series, and that I believe was without Tatum or Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So Tatum and Brown are obviously playing in this game. So Milwaukee has to be a lot better defensively and not allow Boston to score in bunches.
Yeah. I think that'll be the best. I, again, hope they can win, but we'll have to see, I think, overall. But otherwise, yeah, they play them tonight, and then they have 2 more games, Friday and Sunday, both home against the Wizards and the Blazers again.
Yep, and me and Evan will be here to recap some of those games. So, Evan, you got anything else?
No, just hope for a win.
Just hope for a win. So, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in to this special Thanksgiving edition of the Milwaukee Bucks on Tap podcast. We hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys next week.